Okay, you're back with the Roadshow, Becker County Historical Society Roadshow, and we have Arlen Wisted, and we have to finish this Burma road. It's so fascinating. The first part of the road was built in '44, but they were trying to get the convoys over to China.
Yes.
So they could fight the Japanese.
Yes, it was to
get them off the mainland.
The army forces into China.
Okay.
For the supply depot, because they figured they're going to have to fight Japan on their mainland from Chinese soil.
Okay.
So we're being relocated.
You're being relocated. But the first part of the road was built by the United States
Army Corps of Engineers.
Okay.
The American Army Corps of Engineers built the Lido Road, the first portion, sometimes called the Stillwell Highway.
Oh, I read it.
And sometimes called General Peaks Pike. And that was built, called the Lido Road, from Lido, India to Lashio, Burma. And then the Burma Road was built by the Chinese in 1937-38 when Japan was invading China from Kunming to Lashio, Burma. That's the Burma Road portion of it.
Okay.
And then they were both joined at Lashio.
Okay.
Every so many miles, we had a crew that kept the road up.
Okay, sure.
And at the same time, they had a 6-inch pipeline to provide fuel to Kunming. And that pretty much followed the road. Or where the terrain wasn't too bad, you could see the pipeline going across country.
Okay.
And they had crews to watch that, see from sabotage. So.
Now, when we left off last time, you'd just gotten the convoy across with all those wrenches or whatever you call those things.
Winches, yeah.
Winches, okay. Yeah. And then you went on your way. How long was this road?
The road was about 1,100 miles from Lido to Kunming. Now we had another 300 miles from Kunming to Luchao.
Oh.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to go?
We were about a month to 5 weeks on the road.
Oofta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in that time, our 3 shop trucks, the frames bent so that the cab and the chassis came together. So we had to chain them together until we got to Kunming. And then we stayed there for 3 days while they straightened the frames and put fish plates on the frames so that the cab and chassis were split again to finish the convoy. Because the roads were so rough, it was hard on equipment.
They weren't super highways?
Not like I-29, no.
No.
They put 2 transmissions in my truck, show you the pressure on the transmissions. And we were a medium maintenance company, we put transmissions, we put new engines in because we had them along with us, and serviced our trucks.
That was a long trip.
Yeah, and then when I did get into Kunming, I looked up a hometown buddy of mine from town here, Russell Scott.
Oh, yeah?
We corresponded, so he knew where I was, and I knew he was out of fruit juice. He told me in his letter, he never gets any fruit over there, so I supplied him with lots of grapefruit juice, and I pulled into my trailer.
Wow, this grapefruit juice is fascinating.
That's what I happened to be. Yeah.
And so you get into China. Did anyone know you were coming?
At Luchao, where we were to be headquartered at Luchao, they knew we were coming because they had our area where we had to put up our tents was staked out for us.
Okay. And did you run into any troops along the way?
Yes, there was a lot of Chinese troops. When the war was over, they weren't mobilized, so they walked out.
Out of where?
Out of China.
Oh.
Out of Burma, back to China.
Back to China.
Yeah, they were all walking out. Yeah, went by thousands of them.
Really?
Walking. Some were sitting and resting, and most of them wore just grass sandal shoes of some kind that they wove themselves, and some of them made sandals out of truck tires or cut and made a shoe out of them and laced them on their feet.
Well, smart.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you got to your destination. Again, tell me, how long did it take?
It took about a month to 5 weeks to get get to Luchao, China.
Luchao, China.
Our destination.
And how long did it take them to build this whole road?
Well, I don't know how long it took the Chinese to build the Burma Road from Kunming to Lashio, but it took the Army Corps of Engineers about 2 years to build the Lido Road
Okay.
From Little India to Lashio, Burma.
Okay, it took them 2 years, and you were the only ones that used it?
No,
Do you think?
No, the first convoy went over in January of 45.
Okay.
And we went through in about March of 45. So we were one of the first convoys.
And then the war ended.
And then the war ended. They dropped the bomb, and
That was it.
that road was used about 7 months, and the war was over.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
But it was used. Okay. Tell us some more about the end of the war and what you did with the equipment. I always wondered about all this equipment. You didn't have an ocean to dump it in.
You see, President Roosevelt and Chiang Kai-shek had an agreement
Okay.
that they would get all the equipment when the war was over. They wound up with all the equipment.
Oh.
So we just turned all our trucks, our tent area, everything over. And the last night that we were there, we slept in our tents. And then we, preparatory to flying back to Karagapur, India, to come home. Well then, what I did with all the gun parts in my service truck, I took a part for every gun, took them down to the river, and threw them in the river so that they could never complete a gun, a Tommy gun or an OC rifle or an M1 or a revolver, anything. So that, and we did the same thing with automotive parts.
Oh.
Threw all that away because unfortunately they were using them and hijacking our rigs with and selling the stuff.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
And it was shortly after that they started they were fighting the communists about the same time, weren't they? You weren't worried about that
The
anyway.
communists were starting to
Yeah.
come into China at that time.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but that was a little bit unbeknown to me at that time, you know. That,
Oh, sure.
That this was what was taking place over there. Yeah.
I've learned a lot, and I'm going to keep my eyes and ears open for
Yeah.
news of Burma now. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Well, you're entirely welcome. Enjoyed it.
Well, we enjoyed it.